यहाँ पे अपने यही बैठे सीधा। थैंक यू, प्लीज सिट डाउन, बैठ जाइए। This side?
True leaders thrive in uncertainty, remaining open-minded and ready to pivot with me. They turn challenges into opportunities for growth. It requires the ability to embrace change, inspire others to do the same, and lead confidently into the unknown. I, Indrajit Gupta,
and I, Pranjali Yadav,
your host for the evening, welcome you all to the E-Summit 2024 keynote session.
It gives us it gives us immense pride and pleasure to have among us somebody who's not only himself a true leader but has made many. IIT BHU warmly welcomes Dr. Vijendra Chahuan to E-Summit 2024.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Chahuan is an associate vice professor at BU, and he has been an inspiring speaker at many talks, including the TEDx and the Josh Talk. He has mentored many students and civil service aspirants to achieve their dreams. Please give a huge round of applause for Dr. Vijendra as
Thank you. Thank you very much.
May I now request Ms. Vanchika Gupta, Associate Vice President at IIT BHU, to felicitate Dr. Vijendra Chahuan.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. So this is the Ganga Ghat.
Thankfully, it's not Ram Mandir. Thank you. Am I audible? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. It's really great to have you here. How are you feeling?
Well, how am I feeling? Well, I can only tell you that your team did not allow me to walk from my guest house to the lecture theatre. So, effectively, I was told that it is not safe for you to walk from lecture theatre to, from guest house to lecture theatre. And as a teacher, not feeling safe is not something I ever feel among my students. So thank you for your wonderful response, and I'm delighted to be here.
So, sir, since the topic of our keynote is adaptive leadership in turbulent times, let's begin with how you define leadership and who, according to you, is a true leader.
Okay. See, there can be several ways you can approach to this particular thing. And one thing which is not my way of understanding who leader is, to look at the top. That's not how I define leader. That is not how I understand leadership is. इसका सीधा मतलब ये है कि जो शिखर पर बैठा है वही नेता है, वही लीडर है. मेरा देखने का तरीका ये नहीं है. So don't expect me to say that XYZ was all India rank 1. Therefore, to me, he's a better leader or she is a better leader. Is not what I consider being leader is. To me, actually, leader is the one who gives strength to people unlike him or herself. आपके जैसे जो लोग नहीं हैं, वे भी आपसे ताकत पाते हों किसी टीम में, किसी भी समूह में. That I consider as a true leader. The one who can nurture diversity, the one who can include those who are unlike you. To me, the person is a better leader.
Yes, sir. So, in your opinion, where do you think we as college students can learn those skills that could make us a good leader?
You were able to hear that? Okay. What Indrajit is asking that if that is the case, then student like us, where should we look at to become a better leader? There are several ways, several places where you can look. But the best place, according to me, is look at nature. Nature very clearly, and in no ambiguous manner tell you how to be successful or how to be a good leader. And it's been doing so for many years, lakhs of years, लाखों साल से. And interestingly, if I'm allowed to take a few minutes, I'll tell you, आप में से कुछ लोगों ने तो जरूर ये थ्योरी पढ़ी होगी, and let us not debate whether the theory is correct or wrong, incorrect. That's not our intention, but we can draw lessons from it. And the theory is that in human development, Homo erectus had a lesser cranial space in comparison to Neanderthals. That's a theory which suggests, and despite that, Neanderthal got extinct and Homo erectus evolved into Homo sapiens, as we all understand. Though there are new theories which suggest that there is a crossbreeding and all, let's not get into it. But when we try to understand कि ऐसा क्या हुआ होगा कि larger cranial space, इसका मतलब है कि बड़ा दिमाग, उसके बावजूद Neanderthals got extinct, and despite with a lesser cranial space, Homo erectus got into Homo sapiens and they got into those supercomputers and whole civilization we are part of. नेचर का बहुत खूबसूरत तरीका इसे समझने का कि जब आप चाहे सबसे अच्छे हों, लेकिन उसके बावजूद इफ यू फेल टू अडैप्ट टू द एनवायरमेंट, chances are that sooner or later you'll get extinct. आप उसे असफलता कह लीजिए, आप उसे गायब हो जाना कह लीजिए, whatever word you want to use, but at the end of the day, अगर आप सबसे अच्छे नहीं हैं, तब भी आप में अपने से भिन्न लोगों को अपने साथ लेने की ताकत है, तो आप पाएंगे कि आपकी कलेक्टिव स्ट्रेंथ आपके सर्वाइवल के लिए, आपकी सक्सेस के लिए, आपके आगे बढ़ने के लिए आपकी हेल्प करेगी. एंड दिस इज हाउ आई सजेस्ट एवरी स्टूडेंट टू लुक फॉर इंस्पिरेशन इन द नेचर इटसेल्फ. वहां आपके पास अच्छे लीडर बनने के, अच्छे सफल व्यक्ति बनने के, अच्छा इंसान बनने के बहुत सारे सूत्र छिपे हुए हैं. डोंट ट्राई टू फाइट विद इट. हमेशा उससे लड़ना नहीं है, वो एक प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करता है. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप एक बीज से ये कहें कि बहुत मेहनत करो, जल्दी अच्छा पेड़ बन जाओगे. ऐसा नहीं होगा. अगर आप बीज को, if you expect a seed to become a tree, then you will have to give whatever it take from seed to become a tree, a good environment, good water, the soil, the entire system. Only then a seed can become a good tree, a better tree. You cannot ask tree to work hard and become a good tree. You cannot ask tree to get focused and become a good seed to become focused and become a good tree. No. There are ways of nature which suggest that how a seed, all of you are seed or maybe small saplings, who can become good tree, better tree, wiser trees.
Thank you so much, sir. So one thing that I picked up from your explanation is that a leader should have a collective mindset and take the team together. So how do you think could we use effective communication, and how could we communicate to our team such that we're not ordering them, but we're making them come together for a call and working together as a team and being a leader and not just a boss.
Well, as I think आपके सवाल में आपका उत्तर निहित है. I've been interviewing these candidates for 2 decades now. मेरे सामने जब आके बच्चा बैठता है और मैं उसका डैफ देखता हूं, तो प्राइमरी चीजें जो मैं अब तक देखता हूं वो ये हैं, ये नहीं कि उसने कब लीड रोल प्ले किए थे, कब वो अपनी क्लास का मॉनिटर था, कब वो अपनी टीम का कैप्टन था. दैट इज नॉट आई एम रियली वेरी इंप्रेस्ड विद. I try and see whether the person has mentioned certain roles which were not lead roles, which were the role behind the scene roles, and the person, he or she, believed that it was important, and that's why he mentioned it in the DAF of civil services mains examination. आप समझ पा रहे हैं कि अगर आप जब आप मेंस क्लियर कर लेते हैं तो आप एक डिटेल्ड एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म भरते हैं जो डैफ होता है, जिसमें आप खुद मेंशन करते हैं कि आपके इंटरेस्ट क्या हैं, आपने अब तक क्या किया है, एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो इफ यू आर मेंशनिंग दैट यू आर कैप्टन ऑफ द क्रिकेट टीम, फाइन, यू आर कैप्टन ऑफ द क्रिकेट टीम. आई नो बीइंग कैप्टन ऑफ द क्रिकेट टीम टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, बट इफ यू आर मेंशनिंग दैट यू आर पार्ट ऑफ अ नुक्कड़ टीम, नुक्कड़ नाटक टीम, यू आर पार्ट ऑफ अ थिएटर टीम इन विच यू आर एक्चुअली जस्ट आप पर्दा खींचने का काम कर रहे थे, to me that is really important. Why? Because this person has realized that the role he is playing is important to make team work. Similarly, if you are in a leadership role, the thing you can do is to make every person in the team realize that he is important. I'll give 2 instances. One, जैसे अभी मैं यहां वहां से यहां तक आ रहा था, तो मैंने अपने साथ के जो होस्ट हैं बच्चे, उन लोगों से पूछा, वरुण मैंने उनसे पूछा कि आप बताइए कि आपने ये जो अलग अलग रोल्स बना रखे हैं ई सेल में, इन रोल्स में वास्तव में आप लोगों को ये काम करने पड़ते हैं, या फिर जैसे आपने मेरे आते समय भी बाहर घेरा बना दिया था कि भौकाल बनाने के लिए है. मतलब हिंदी के मास्टर को बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी में कौन सी सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट हो सकती है जिसके लिए एक बड़ा सर्कल सा बनाना पड़ेगा कि सर को बचा के लेके जाना है. सो इन अ टीम, if you have a person who is given a charge that you have to take care of security, which may or may not be the most important role here, but when it comes even a small aspect of security, you have to make the person realize that his work is the most important work and you value his or her work. That's the way leader make team realize that everybody is contributing. When I was 22, 23 years old, I was working with the education department of University of Delhi as a research worker. एकेडमिक्स के लोग जानेंगे, जो एकदम पीजी करके निकले हुए बच्चे होते हैं, वो किसी किसी प्रोजेक्ट में दे बिकम फील्ड वर्कर, रिसर्च एसोसिएट. आई वाज वन ऑफ देम एंड माय टीम हैड मोस्ट वंडरफुल people from education industry. My team mean my bosses, if you call them. Professor Anil Sadgopal, Professor Krishna Kumar, Professor Poonam Batra. They are wonderful people. Professor Krishna Kumar is the one who gave the Yashpal committee report. Professor Anil Sadgopal, who's a Caltech professor, was a member of the Ramurthy committee. He returned from California Institute of Technology, 2 Nobel laureates teaching him, and he started a primary school in Hoshangabad called Hoshangabad Science Teaching Program. So they were wonderful education leaders, and our team was led by Professor Anil Sadgopal, and we were just out of college graduates, and team used to have 30 to 35 people. And this person, Professor Anil Sadgopal, right from our spot boy, the peon who was serving tea, to research workers, to the fellow professors and directors, he had this wonderful communication, as you said, in which अगर चाय बन रही है, चाय सर्व की गई है, तो इससे पहले कि अपने कलीग से पूछे कि कितनी चीनी डाली जाएगी, वो रामनाथ जी से पूछेंगे जो कि चाय लेकर आए हैं कि रामनाथ जी चीनी अलग से लाए हैं क्या? अच्छा, बहुत अच्छे. दिस सिंपल बहुत अच्छे works wonderful for the team. Now, Mr. Ramnath, who's a PN in education department, realizes that his work is as important as the work of Professor Krishna Kumar, who was director at CIT. At least for that particular moment, it is. I think these small tidbits of communication make a good leader, a leader who actually नो कि किसको कब किस जगह पर इंपॉर्टेंस देनी है. इफ यू आर एबल टू डू इट, यू विल रियलाइज दैट यू आर अ बेटर लीडर. एंड इफ यू सिंस यू आर इन ई सेल, यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इफ यू आर स्टार्टिंग अ स्टार्टअप, you will be having maybe 3 people, 4 people. Now there's a new comedy by whom? By I think Basi. No. Right. No, it was Abhinav. This other guy. Which one? No, that this Meerut guy, Basi, right? Basi. Yes, Abhinav Singh Basi, na? Right. He got this new comedy stand up on startups. He said, oh, okay, there was 9 people. I was a senior analyst with no junior. Right? So there were 9 people. 6 will sit in headquarters, which was in Jaipur, and these 3 will sit in Delhi in basement, handling voice call where there was no network. When you start, you'll have your own startups, you'll realize that you have a very small team, and this team is without having a clear pyramid. You cannot actually say that this is boss and then you have 2 and then under them 3. You may have wonderful designations to show on your business card which you may not have money to print. But if you want this team to work, the only way you can make this team to work is that you realize each member of the team that his work is important, which actually is. It's not that it is you're giving a false perception that your work is important. Your work is important, and you have to make people realize that this work, whatever work you're doing, is crucial for this particular team to work. It applies not just to the startup, not just to a few leadership thing. I'm coming from that bunch of thing where everybody believes that he can become a collector. वहां पर भी आपको रियलाइज करना पड़ेगा कि आपका इंडिविजुअल एफर्ट आपको कलेक्टर नहीं बना रहा होता. अगर आपको ये बनारस में रह के, इलाहाबाद में रह के ये गलत फहमी है कि यू कैन क्रैक 2024-25 सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन बाय बिकमिंग अ लोन वुल्फ, कि आपने कमरा बंद किया और 16 घंटे पढ़े तो आपका क्लियर हो जाएगा, नहीं होगा. नाउ इट इज अ टीम एफर्ट. You have to be in the ecosystem. कुछ लोग तो कोटा से जरूर आए होंगे. Raise your hand, please. वाह. और अगर कोटा को हम फिनोमिना मान ले बजाय एक जगह मानने के, तो all of you came from Kota, right? If it is a phenomena, if it is only a place, okay, half of you came from the Kota. So you know that it is not just your efforts which help you crack advance. It was the effort of the entire ecosystem, fortunately or unfortunately. I'm not at all saying that it was a nice thing. So the guy who delivered tiffin to your PG, or the person who is giving you timely your newspaper, or the person who is having a better seat in your coaching, and all other factors, all these work collectively to make you successful, if it can be called success. I'm a teacher, I'm not really very fond of the such successes. Please understand. But if that is success, you need to understand it is the entire ecosystem that's working for you. And you have to be grateful you have to give credit to all these components of the ecosystem. It is the system. It is the system theory as we call it. And system theory's basic is the whole is more than sum of the components. That's the basic of the ecosystem or the system theory. So you are successful, you're a better leader only if you realize that your team has to be more than the aggregate of individual components of the team. That's what my understanding is. Sorry, I took a little long, but it was probably required.
But many a times engaging in a lot of things will make things very ambiguous where we are heading towards. हम क्या कर रहे हैं, गलत कर रहे हैं, सही कर रहे हैं. So how do we deal with the many things in our hands?
Okay, let me put it like this. I know आप कहेंगे कि सर आपने पहले नहीं बताया था कि आप मुझसे लड़ बैठेंगे, लेकिन सच्चाई ये है कि I don't actually believe it. I've delivered TED talks saying it. I'm saying it again in the IIT BHU now. This हिंदी में एक शब्द होता है प्रमाद. कुछ हिंदी वाले होंगे प्रमाद समझ पा रहे हैं? प्रमाद का मतलब है समझिए फैलेसी, झूठ. कुल मिलाकर एक झूठ हम लोगों ने अपने आसपास गढ़ा है जो ये कहता है कि इफ यू आर टू फोकस्ड इट्स अ बेटर थिंग. ट्रस्ट मी इट इज नॉट. ट्रस्ट मी इट इज नॉट. अब तो बनारस में बहुत डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, बताया गया है, इसलिए अब बनारस में तांगे ढूंढना शायद मुश्किल होगा. लेकिन बनारस में तांगे चला करते थे, दिल्ली में भी चला करते थे. आप में से कुछ लोग जरूर ऐसे इलाकों से आए होंगे जहां आप लोगों ने तांगे देखे होंगे. तांगे नहीं देखे होंगे तो शादी की घोड़ी तो देखी होगी. घोड़े को जब हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो वी पुट ब्लाइंडर्स ऑन देयर आईज. ब्लाइंडर समझ रहे हैं? एक चमड़े की झल्ली सी लगा दी जाती है. आइडिया इज दैट हॉर्स शुड नॉट लुक हियर एंड देयर, ओनली वो जो उसकी लगाम जो है उसके हिसाब से चले, अपना दिमाग न लगाए. When we say to our young kids like you कि you have to be very focused, you are effectively putting blinders on your eyes. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. These blinders give you a polarized vision to look only in one direction and do not apply your mind, which effectively result in you losing many learning opportunities on the way. You choose learning opportunity A over learning opportunity B, while learning opportunity B might be more important, wise, worthy. I've been saying it from years now that having a single-mindedness, having a polarized vision is the greatest harm we can do to the young generation. Please allow yourself, you should have a direction, fine, but allow yourself to have a diversified vision that will allow you to capitalize on all the learning opportunities your life is throwing at you. If you're over focused, then like lens, अगर आप लेंस से लाइट को ज्यादा फोकस कर देंगे तो क्या होगा? It will start burning the thing. Light on a wider spectrum will give you light, will give you vision. If you polarize it too much, it will become laser. Right? So my understanding is, and I've been saying it, I'm sorry, that have diversity in your vision. Have diversity in your life. Both as a person, as individual, and both also as leader. If you do not have diversity, you'll understand what will happen. There was some reason why political executive or the administrative executives like IAS officers are generalist and not specialist, because specialists again has a problem. They know more and more about less and less, and hence their vision is very polarized. My request to you is, please understand the fallacy of being over focused and also understand कि इसके पीछे की साजिश क्या है, क्यों सारी की सारी दुनिया चाहती है, माता पिता से लेकर, माता पिता भी आपको डांटते थे, सारे काम क्यों कर रहा है, जो काम करने का है सिर्फ वो कर, राइट? Sometimes we teachers do the same with you, but more than then, the society and economy want to do it because they want a defined customer target group. एकदम क्लियर हो जाएगा, जेई वाला बच्चा है, जेई वाला बच्चा है तो जेई वाले प्रोडक्ट इसको बेचे जाएंगे, कोचिंग से लेके मेंटरिंग तक, ठीक है? और उसको कह रहा है बस जेई के अलावा कुछ मत सोच, एकदम अपना डिफाइंड कस्टमर है. अगर वो उसका मन में बीच में अचानक आ गया, नहीं नहीं मुझे तो नीट देना है, मुझे तो ह्यूमैनिटीज में जाना है, तो गया ग्राहक हाथ से, तो उसको बताया जाता नहीं, बी फोकस्ड. वहीदर बात है, पहले सारी ताकत लगा के कोटा जाओगे, 1 साल ड्रॉप करोगे, खूब सारा पैसा दोगे, बुरा खाना खाओगे, फाइनली जब आपका आईआईटी में हो जाएगा तो आईआईटी करने के बाद आप कहोगे नहीं मुझे तो आईएएस बनना है, चलिए ह्यूमैनिटीज सोशल साइंसेस ले लेता हूं. I mean, strength. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in it. You have constitutional right to do so. There is nothing wrong in it. In fact, I am advocating that do it. But please understand that you were making that mistake when you were over focused at that time. Had you had a wider spectrum, you might have chosen something else. Nothing wrong in choosing IIT. It's a wonderful institution. But what is the point of being in IIT and becoming mechanical engineer? Right. Mechanical engineer when you don't want to become mechanical engineer. फिर एक दिन ऐसा होगा कि आप अपनी आईआईटी की डिग्री लेके बैठे होंगे, विजेंद्र चौहान सामने बैठेंगे और वो पूछेंगे कि बताओ एमपीएफआई इंजन और कार्बोरेटर इंजन में क्या डिफरेंस है. आपको पता है कि आप क्या आंसर देंगे. I hope you were not hurt. Yes, please.
Yeah. So that definitely was a really good perspective on how we could be holistic. I wanted to ask you that, when we come into IIT and we, once we're out of that JEE mindset, we're told that the one thing that you get in IIT is the exposure. And that is mostly through the clubs and the societies and the councils that we have here and the various competitions. How much according to you is that, actually true? How much exposure do these societies give to people? And how could we as students leverage that at our best?
Well, thank you. Thank you for asking this, and because I believe this is the important question. आप सब लोगों को सवाल आई होप समझ में आया है. I've been saying it that difference between a good institution and average institution is not about having good lecture theaters, good infrastructure, or things like that. All of that is important, but the most important thing is what kind of learning opportunities a particular institution is offering to you. And offering learning opportunities is not restricted to the classrooms. It is never. Because otherwise, you all know that all central universities in fact, all universities in this country follow certain standards set by UGC. So we teachers at, for example, I am at University of Delhi, and my colleagues at Banaras Hindu University are more or less equally competent. More or less. They may be 4 papers किसी के इधर ज़्यादा होंगे, 4 पेपर किसी के उधर ज़्यादा होंगे. But more or less we are equally competent in terms of having our educational qualification and other things. Then what makes an institution A different from institution B for the student? It is these activities as you mentioned. किसी जिले के किसी छंगामल इंटर कॉलेज में या छंगामल डिग्री कॉलेज में, Changamal, if those of you who don't understand the perspective, it is from Rag Darbari by Sri Lal Shukla, where there is a college called Changamal Inter College, which is like is used as a metaphor for Indian education system from the tier 2, tier 3 cities. तो छंगामल इंटर कॉलेज या छंगामल डिग्री कॉलेज और दिल्ली के SRCC या IITs में जो डिफरेंस है वो ये है कि यहां पर आपके पास ये वाली लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज होती हैं दैट यू हैव 20 क्लब्स, यू हैव मेनी सोसाइटीज एंड यू एक्चुअली कंडक्ट प्रोग्राम्स फॉर इट. इट्स नॉट व्हाट विजेंद्र चौहान इज सेइंग इन दिस लेक्चर थिएटर, बट द E-Cell's ability to persuade Vijendra Chahuan to travel all the way from Delhi to Banaras for this 1-hour talk, which I could have delivered online as well. आप सोच सकते हैं कि इस पूरी प्रक्रिया में वरुण को और उनकी टीम को कितनी ताकत लगी होगी to persuade me, arrange for the resources, my ticket, and then everything, even वो भोकाल बनाने वाला सर्कल. All these things are learning opportunities. If you ask a IIM postgraduate कि भाई आपके इंस्टीट्यूशन ने आपको क्या दिया, was the lectures most important? No. In fact, most IIM don't follow the lecture method at all. It is only the case studies and the organization method. It means the thing you people are doing become part of their curriculum. They actually do things. Therefore, if you're missing out this opportunity, मेरे पास जब भी बच्चे आके पूछते हैं मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी के, सर मैं कब यूपीएससी की तैयारी शुरू करूं, आपके मन में भी किसी के मन में जरूर होगा सवाल कि सर फर्स्ट ईयर से कर दूं या सेकेंड ईयर से कर दूं. आई मीन ऑलवेज सेइंग दैट डू इट ओनली इन द फाइनल ईयर. Before that, you should be part of at least three activities. One of them should be either theater or public speaking, debating or whatever. One should be at least organization based, E-Cell or management cell or whatever. And one should be pure art. Be part of at least 3 activities. Your DAF should mention these 3 activities, otherwise you will be forced to write meditation. When you write yoga and meditation and DAF reaches us, we know it. इस भाई ने पूरी जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं किया. He is writing yoga क्योंकि कोचिंग सेंटर वालों ने बताया कि योगा लिख दो, उसकी तैयारी आसान होती है. DAF में जब पूछा जाएगा तो योगा अष्टांग योग के 8 अंग बता देना और कपाल भाती बता के निकल लेना. But when you actually do things, when your team will go to any recruitment, any placement or civil services, and you'll mention that you were part of the e-summit thing, organizing thing, and since you have done it, not just written it, you'll know the learning you are carrying. You know how to do the problem solving, and these things matter. Therefore, if you're not part of any activity, fine, persuade somebody, bribe somebody. किसी दोस्त को पटा लो, उसको ले जाकर, what is this place called? LC. उस भाई को, किसी दोस्त को जो कि E-Cell में कोई ऑफिस बेरर है, उसे LC में ले जाकर अच्छा सा शेक पिलाओ अमूल की दुकान से और कहो कि भाई सिक्योरिटी में रख ले पर रख ले. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Please do not deny yourself the learning opportunities coming from out of classroom activities. That is what my message is. Can I just add one more thing here? It's not only about what you did. More than that, it is you were part of a team which has diversity. And this is something important for IIT BHU, please understand, because BHU actually need it. If you're part of a team in which आपकी टीम के सारे लोग या तो गोरखपुर से हैं या प्रतापगढ़ से हैं या आसपास से हैं, यू आर मिसिंग आउट द लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज. आप लड़के हैं और आपकी टीम में सारे दोस्त लड़के हैं. आप एक पर्टिकुलर भाषा से आते हैं और आपकी टीम में सारे लोग उसी भाषा वाले हैं. जाति और धर्म की बात तो करना भी बेकार है. आप समझ पा रहे हैं? अगर आप बीएचयू आकर भी बीएचयू कायस्थ संघ में ही हैं या ब्राह्मण संघ या भूमियार संघ, whatever, then you're missing out the learning opportunities. When you become part of such teams, you're in a diversity thing, and it is diversity which transforms personalities. It is diversity which make your personality inclusive. It is diversity which make you leader. Otherwise, when you're in the group of identical things, you're part of only a bhajan mandali. एक ने बोला, बाकी सबने बोला जय माता दी. That won't work. You need to be part of a diverse team. And these groups, these committees, these societies, these activities make you part of the diversity this beautiful society, this beautiful nation offer, but we refuse to actually recognize it.
Thank you, sir. That was really insightful. I hope कि लोग इसे implement करें and all of us get a lot of milkshake offers at IIT. So let's move on to the Q&A from the audience. You may raise your hand and the coordinators will deliver the mic to you.
Huh? No. Okay, I talked about diversity. I'll request organizers to honor the diversity thing. Please have questions from a diverse background, not just एक ही तरह के बच्चे. ठीक है? Yes.
Good evening, sir. I am Lokesh from Part 3, Ceramic Engineering. So, my question is that as a UPS aspirant, what kind of ideology should a person should inculcate to appear before the board of interviews? Thank you.
Okay, that's been as we call the assembly line question actually. You're saying that कि सर हमने यूपीएससी का इंटरव्यू अगर देना है तो हमें अपनी विचारधारा क्या रखनी चाहिए? What should be the ideology? Well, I don't know why this question is so important to many. You need to understand that when I say diversity, it's not just about the food choices, the language and other things. It is also about the intellectual diversity one has, right? So if you are exposed to various kind of thought processes, you will be a wiser person. And then you will not have to ask this question from Vijendra Chahuan कि सर मैं कौन सी चीज छुपा ले जाऊं और कौन सी बता दूं. You will actually have diverse personality. And if you have that diversity in your personality, if you have the equity in your personality, sensitivity in it, it will reflect in your personality as it is. You will not have to mask it to say कि सर मैं pro government बोल दूं या anti government बोल दूं. That doesn't matter actually, to be honest, because extreme position in any case, if you are holding extreme positions, it is very unlikely that you will clear mains examination. Forget about appearing in the interview. This diversity is required in the ecosystem of your thought process to actually clear prelims and mains. Forget about interview. It is no more 20 years ago's UPSC. 24-23 UPSC is UPSC 2.0, which effectively talk about the entire ecosystem of your preparation. You have to have diversity in your preparation aspect. You will have people from other community, people from other caste, people from other ideologies in your group, and hence you will be able to appreciate the point of view which is different from you. Once you have it, you will never have to worry about कि मैं वहां जाकर क्या दिखूं, right wing दिखूं कि left wing दिखूं. That will not matter at all, because you will be, even otherwise, as such, honestly, will be a person with wisdom, and that will work. Trust me. Don't try to fake it. Faking it will not work, because within 2-3 minutes, people like us, other side of the table, they are able to guess कि ये बंदा सच बोल रहा है या ऐसे ही झूठ में तैयार कर रहा है. So don't worry about that. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Swastika, and my question is: being an influential educationist, what changes do you suggest to educators and policymakers to implement in education system right now?
Thank you. Thank you for saying it. I don't know whether I'm influential or not. I don't know whether I'm educationist or not. But yes, this is one area which is very important for me, and thank you, Swastika. First of all, to make a few things clear, I'm not a person who have those lofty vision about education. I understand my bread and butter is education. I've studied education as a discipline. As I said, with the best mentors possible, Professor Anil Sadgopal, Professor Krishna Kumar and likes. And still I'm saying, this fallacy of suggesting that education is panacea of everything is misplaced. Misplaced. Recently I wrote a paper which suggested that when violence in Nuh was taking place, which is just 20 kilometers from Gurgaon, that you know the unrest in Nuh recently happened. Nuh is in Mewat region of Haryana and Rajasthan. When this violence was taking place in Nuh, I worked on this paper and I saw that in Gurgaon corporates, the people who were working those corporate, well-educated people, IITs, IIMs, management people, engineering people, administration people, their LinkedIn profile was filled with hatred. So education in itself will not wipe off everything. Education at the end of the day, unfortunately, is always agency to socialization. The same way as family is, the same way as religion is, the same way as state is. So effectively, believing that educate everyone, every problem will be solved, will not work. What kind of education we have to give, that will matter. So if you ask me, my utopia is critical thinking. To me, if you're educated and you cannot question your peers, you cannot question power, you cannot question your family, you cannot question other things, then it's better not to have education. So if you ask me what is going to be my recipe for a brighter India, for a brighter society, it will be education, where education make you a critical thinker who can critique, who will not follow whatever is said. That's my understanding of it. How to do it? There are several ways of many educationists have suggested. For example, Paulo Freire suggested. There are many. Tagore suggested. Gandhi suggested. There are several ways. But unfortunately, मुझसे कोई पूछने वाला है नहीं. Thank you. Do we have another? Oh, we can take a few questions, right? Yes. Anybody, please. I can just say one thing. I mean, I was in IIT Hyderabad yesterday. I've been traveling from one IIT to other IIT or NIT to NIT. But here is the first time in the question answer that the second question itself become a question from a girl. Otherwise मुझे कहना पड़ता है कि माइक उठा के लड़कियों को दे दो. इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस में लड़कियों के पास वॉइस नहीं है. Here I'm happy that they were. So you have right thinking, you have thinking women voices in the lecture theatre. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you, Swastika. Yes.
Namaskar sir, this is Sahil Patil from PhD second year, and my question is regarding Indian bureaucracy. So, what are the challenges that Indian bureaucracy is facing, and in the future, what are the opportunities it holds, and what kind of individuals do you think could enter the Indian bureaucracy to enhance and develop?
Well, एजुकेशन से मैंने कहा मुझे बहुत उम्मीद नहीं थी. इसका मतलब ये कतई नहीं था कि ब्यूरोक्रेसी से मुझे ज्यादा उम्मीद थी. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, एजुकेशन इज क्लोज टू मी, दैट्स व्हाई आई मेंशन एजुकेशन. ब्यूरोक्रेसी से तो उम्मीद करनी नहीं होती. ये मैक्स वेबर कह के चले गए. मैक्स वेबर ने बताया, एंड वी ऑल नो, वी ऑल स्टडी इन सोशियोलॉजी, दैट ब्यूरोक्रेसी इज अ सोशल सिस्टम which is actually built to resist change. It is built to resist change. It's a status quo system. The purpose of bureaucracy is to resist change, to keep the system stable, keep the system the way it is. And that's why Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, these are the services which are entrusted with the responsibility कि ज्यादा गड़बड़ ना हो आपके सोसाइटी के अंदर, अनरेस्ट ना हो, सोसाइटी स्टेबली चलती रहे, विच इज इंपॉर्टेंट. नो डेवलपमेंट कैन टेक प्लेस इफ सोसाइटी इज नॉट स्टेबल. बट प्लीज डू नॉट एक्सपेक्ट चेंज टू कम फ्रॉम ब्यूरोक्रेसी. That's not the mandate of the bureaucracy, because the day bureaucracy start doing it, that will be very unfortunate for democracy.
But sir, the personalities like Vijendra have, yeah, they are making great changes and great.
Sorry?
Vijendra.
See, individuals will not matter. Please understand. I'm not at all saying that we do not need wonderful bureaucrats. We do need wonderful bureaucrats. उनके बिना देश नहीं चलेगा. लेकिन ये देश चलाने के लिए, देश बदलने के लिए ब्यूरोक्रेसी को नहीं देखना है. There's a difference. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Social changes should take place in society through political bureaucracy and other places. Political bureaucracy means politics. Bureaucracy by nature is supposed to resist change. That is what the mandate of the bureaucracy is. Therefore, if you, जब हमारे पास कैंडिडेट्स आते हैं और पूछते हैं, हम उनसे पूछते हैं क्यों आईएएस बनना चाहते हो, और वो कहते हैं सर मैं समाज बदल देना चाहता हूं, मैं समाज को बदलना चाहता हूं, मैं अमुक, किसी का नाम लेके बोलेंगे, मैं अमुक से बहुत इंप्रेस हूं और इसकी वजह से मैं चाहता हूं कि मैं आऊं और शिक्षा व्यवस्था को बदल दूं. आई एम सॉरी, दैट्स नॉट द वे. आपको ये चीजें अगर बदलनी है तो आपको ये चीजें जहां से गड़बड़ हुई है वहां जाना पड़ेगा. Bureaucracy is supposed to give you a stable society, which less corruption, with least possible kind of instability or unrest, with opportunities for others to think and work. That is the task of bureaucracy. So don't expect bureaucracy to do which other organs of the society has to do, because इसका मतलब है कि सब फेल हो गए. इट्स लाइक आप जुडिशरी से ही एक्सपेक्ट करें कि वो एग्जीक्यूटिव का काम करेगी, अनफेयर. आप इंडिविजुअल से एक्सपेक्ट करें कि वो संसद का काम करेंगे, अनफेयर. अ सिस्टम रन, एज आई सेड, सिस्टम हैज डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स. A good system is a system where the system is better than, more than the aggregate of individual components. But if all other components are not working and you expect one component to become the whole system, that is going to be very, very sad. It should not be the case. So if you want to change the system, I'll advise you not to get into bureaucracy. Right? Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Louder perspective of your definitely. So my question is, you said three activities to definitely do. One is theater, another is pure art, and the third one is joining any one of the organization. So what is the thought? Why you affected to do theater? Why you mentioned the name theater?
Well, it could be my biases. Let us accept it. Theater is one thing I wanted to do, could not do.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I get an opportunity to speak in Delhi, I end up giving a critique of JNU. Why? Because I wanted to study in JNU, could not. But let the lighter things be aside. Why I said theater is very simple. Bharat Muni in its Natya Shastra very clearly said, and it is true to today, that theater is mother of arts. There is no form of art which is not represented in theater. Right from design to music to dance to acting to writing, everything. So if you're part of the theater, you'll be doing your domain, but you'll be part of the team. And in theater, it is essential that it is not your individual thing, it is the collective impact that matters. So once you're part of the theater or allied activities like theater, you end up learning not just your domain, but also to see the bigger picture, that how your best abilities can be accommodated for larger good. This is what my understanding about theater is. It's different, for example, from a single person's. If you play squash, it's a good thing. If you play golf, it's a good thing. But at the end of the day, mostly it is your individual caliber that will matter. It is individual caliber that will sharpen. Fine, nothing wrong in it. If you can do it, do it. But theater will give you, in my opinion, humble opinion, a larger canvas to work in a team. That's why I mentioned theater. In theater, you are, for example, an actor and part of a team. You're doing acting today, tomorrow your director will say, "Arey ruk jao, aaj tum pani lekar aao." And both pani lekar aana as well as acting will contribute to your personality. That's why I said it.
Yeah, definitely. And the other one is, education is not about getting into a specific vertical and get lot knowledge about it and do the thing. If at a certain point, even in BTech or whatever the graduate thing you are doing, if you have to change your occupation from like a singing or dancing or acting or any other's perspective, other verticals, what is the point you think you have to change your path? At a particular point you will get right, I said about the subject, how much lot of subject we have to capture and what we are doing in the future. So you will get at one particular point, right? You wanted to change the path. So what do you would think about it?
See, I've been discussing it at many platforms. I'm repeating here. What I'm saying is a little controversial, but I hope you'll understand and you'll appreciate what I'm saying. I mentioned that why it is so important not to be polarized in your vision, not to be over focused, as I said. It is in continuation to that. The simile I generally use is, just think of a river. No river can actually flow in straight line. It should not, right? And river is not the channel which is formed. Water is the river, right? River is shaped by the flow of water. ऐसा नहीं है कि गंगोत्री से निकली और सीधी लाइन आपने खींची और उसे ले जाके बंगाल की खाड़ी में गिरा दिया, नहीं होता। हम बार बार ये क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि बनारस के पास अचानक गंगा नदी को क्या हो जाता है इलाहाबाद से बनारस के बीच कि अच्छा खासा नॉर्थ से साउथ आ रही होती है, साउथ से नॉर्थ की तरफ चल देती है। देखा है? This is a question I've been asking. Meandering of river, and meandering of river is not because of the river but because of the water. The river is nothing but flow of water. Please take this metaphor to your life. Your life should not run in the straight line. You can have a direction, that you are coming from Himalaya, you have to go to Bengal की खाड़ी, ठीक है ना? But allow a little meandering in your life. How? Through flow. If you start resisting the flow, that is the problem. It is unlike what industrial revolution has taught us. All engineers always believe just polarize, सीधा चलो, focus चलो. I'm saying a different thing. That's why I said it's controversial. I'm saying allow flow of your life to have some influence on you. पिताजी ने सपना देखा था कि बेटा कोटा तोड़ेगा, उसके बाद आईआईटी पहुंचेगा, आ गए भाई. When I was an engineering student, I completed my engineering, लेकिन मुझे लगा मुझे कविता करनी है, मुझे साहित्य पढ़ना है. I gave that degree to my father कि आपने कहा था ले लो, अब मैं हिंदी पढ़ने जा रहा हूं. आज ये इतनी हैरानी की बात नहीं है, मैं 90s की बात कर रहा हूं. I was literally thrown out of my home, kicked out, कि हमारे घर का बच्चा हिंदी पढ़ेगा. हमारा घर मीन्स यूज्ड टू बी साइंस, इंजीनियरिंग, दैट फील्ड. But I believe it was that flow in my life which allowed a Hindi teacher from Zakir Hussain Delhi College of Delhi University giving opportunity to address IIT BHU, and yours is not the only IIT I'm addressing. I'm suggesting a very simple thing. Both Indian and Chinese philosophy allow it. That please do not always resist change. Allow this change, allow this flow to shape your life. So when is the point? गंगा कब मुड़ने लगती है दूसरी तरफ? That is the flow, the meandering of the river. Similarly, there will be a movement in your life, or there will be chain of movements in your life when you will realize कि नहीं, मुझे इस चीज में अब ज्यादा मजा आ रहा है. Right? Let flow do it. मैंने भी हालांकि डिग्री खत्म किया था, इसलिए छोड़ के मत भाग जाइए. But allow yourself to deviate a bit from pre-designed, predestined, pre-thought rasta. That's what I can say. Thank you. You want to wind up?
Thank you so much, sir, for this eye-opening session.
Thank you very, very much to all of you. Yes.
We would like to have you here for the closing ceremony.
Thank you very much.